Black Myth Wukong might generally be one of the most visually impressive games I've ever tested. From the lightning to the particle effects to the massive boss fights, this game looks absolutely insane. So for this benchmark, I paired the RX 9070 XT with my Ryzen 7 5700X and pushed the games from 1080p all the way up to 4K with ray tracing enabled. And honestly, some of these results genuinely surprised me. At 1440p, this setup delivered an incredible experience. But the moment ray tracing entered the picture, especially at 4K, things got brutal very quickly. And that's where technologies like FSR and Frame Generation completely changed the experience. So in this video, we are testing the Blackmig Wukong across multiple resolutions, ray tracing settings, and performance modes to see exactly how far the RX 9070 XT can really go. Starting with 1080p, and honestly, the RX 9070 XT absolutely dominates here. At high settings, gameplay felt extremely smooth through the benchmark route, even during heavier combat encounters and practical heavy attacks. Moving up to the cinematic preset, visual quality improved noticeably while performance still stayed at very playable overall. But things changed quickly once full ray tracing was enabled on the very high preset. The moment RT entered the picture, FPS started dropping hard, frame rates became much heavier, and combat no longer felt nearly as smooth during the intense scenes. And honestly, this is where Black Myth Wukong starts showing just how demanding it really is. But enabling FSR immediately helped recover a huge amount of performance while still keeping the game looking visually impressive during the combat. So overall, at 1080p, the RX 9070 XT delivers an excellent experience as long as you're realistic with the ray tracing settings. Moving up to 1440p, this is where the RX 9070 XT started feeling truly at home. At native 1440p using the high presets, gameplay still felt extremely smooth throughout the combat while delivering a huge jump in visual clarity over 1080p. And honestly, this is probably the sweet spot for this GPU in Black Myth Wukong. Even the cinematic preset held up surprisingly well, with the game looking absolutely incredible during heavier particle effects and large combat encounters. But once ray tracing entered the picture again, performance took a serious hit. Frame times became noticeably heavier, combat responsiveness dropped, and during intense scenes, the game no longer felt consistently smooth. And honestly, native ray tracing at 1440p just doesn't feel worth it here without some kind of upscaling. But enabling FSR immediately transformed the experience. Performance recovered dramatically, gameplay became far smoother again, and visually, the game still looked fantastic during the actual combat. So overall, if you're pairing the RX 9070 XT with the 1440p monitor, this is easily the strongest balance between visual and performance in Black Myth Wukong. And finally, moving up to the 4K, this is where Black Myth Wukong really started pushing the RX 9070 XT to its limits. At 94K using the high-end cinematic presets, the game still looked absolutely incredible, although performance pressure became much more noticeable during heavier combat. But once full ray tracing was enabled, performance completely collapsed, dropping down into the 6 to 8 FPS ranging during intense scenes. Frame times became extremely heavy, responsiveness suffered badly, and honestly, this is quickly turned into more of a slideshow than a playable experience. But enabling FSR and frame generation immediately improved performance back into the 30 to 38 FPS range. Input lag was still noticeable, but overall gameplay became dramatically smoother and far more playable while still looking visually. So overall, Black Myth Wukong turned out to be an incredibly demanding game, especially once ray tracing entered the picture. At 1080p, the RX 9070 XT delivered an excellent experience overall, while 1440p easily felt like the sweet spot between visuals and performance. But at 4K with full ray tracing enabled, even the GPU started struggling hard even without help of FSR and frame generation. And honestly, this is one of the few games that can genuinely humble modern hardware once every setting is pushed to the limits. Still, paired with the Ryzen 7 5700X, this setup delivered a surprisingly strong experience overall, especially considering this is still an AM4 system in 2026. If you enjoyed the benchmark, make sure to like and subscribe because I've got more RX 9070 XT benchmark videos coming very soon. Thanks for watching.